Hey guys, Carl at Enduro Skills Training School here. I thought I'd give you a quick video just to help you set your GPS up for hard enduro. We know that Romaniacs is coming up. Lots of other races like the Madron, Bulgaria, etc. all use GPS to navigate. And it's pretty straightforward to just make sure that you've got the right settings running on your GPS. So first things first, when you go to the event, if you look at the back of it, you take the battery cover off. Some people have a little memory card in there. My advice is to remove that memory card before you hand your GPS into the organizers, because some of them will wipe all data that's on devices before they put their own data on. And if you've got anything like purchase maps or anything like that on there, then you're just going to lose out. And you really don't need it for racing. And then your batteries here. In some cases, the battery compartments, on these E-Trex GPSs, we've never had a problem, but on some of the bigger ones like the Montanas, we've had a problem where the alkalines rattle loose, and so sometimes putting like a little bit of sponge in the back here under the battery door helps stabilize it. Okay, looking at the GPS itself, so the E-Trex Garmin is pretty much the de facto standard that everybody's using. We typically use two of them. And you can see a zoom level on the bottom here. That says 12 meters. You can see a bunch of blue lines here. I'll explain what they are in a minute. But what we normally do is, for most events, I personally ride somewhere between 80 meters and 120 meters on my left-hand side GPS. And then on my right-hand GPS, I would be running 200 or something meters. The left-hand GPS being zoomed in more is the one that you would use for slow riding or when you're sitting down. And then the GPS on the right is the one that I'm using when I'm flying along the fire roads or easy navigation, just to see what's coming up. Okay, looking at the my backlight, you can see I'm running mine full. With alkaline batteries, you will get a good 10 hours, even on full power with the backlight on. On lithium batteries, you'll get significantly more. You'll get 17 or so hours. So, good quality batteries will give you a full day with the backlight on. If you're nervous, put it on 75%. You really need the backlight on because when the screen gets covered in dust, the backlight helps you see the actual screen. Okay, so when you press the button up here, it goes into the menu system. And then so when I go into setup, you'll see here, system. Very first thing you want to do is you want to make sure that you switch on all GPS systems. So you get the choice here of just running GPS or running GPS plus GLONASS or demo mode. I put GPS plus GLONASS on because GPS have got 31 active satellites, should be 32, but one of them is dead. And GLONASS has got 54 satellites. And GLONASS is the Russian system, GPS the American system. So GLONASS is a little bit more detailed and better over Eastern Europe. So when you're racing like Romaniacs or Sister Crazy Job in Bulgaria or anything in Spain, Italy, etc., GLONASS is extremely helpful. But you've got all of them on now. So you'll have more than 50 satellites tracking you and sending information to your device so that your device has a better chance of knowing where it is. The next thing you want to switch on is both WAS and EGNOS. You can switch it off, you can switch it on, right? What these things are is they're ground stations that sends corrective signals to your GPS to correct any kind of satellite error. So it just, again, it increases accuracy of your device, showing you where you are. Now, just keep in mind that these are a lot of systems that tells this device, based on signals that it receives from satellites and ground stations, where it is. Your relationship to the race line that you're trying to follow on the screen still basically relies on what GPS the organizer used to draw that line in the first place, right? And so, but at least you know from your point of view that you are getting the most accurate position possible to be able to be on that line or near that line or be close to that line. Battery type, super important. You get two choices. You get three choices: alkaline, lithium, and rechargeable. Very important that you get the setting right for the given battery type that you're using. They drain differently. Alkaline batteries taper off The moment you put them in your device, they start tapering off towards the point where they're dead, whereas a lithium battery stays at full power all the way to the end and then suddenly drops off. So if you've got your device set as a lithium setting, but you're using an alkaline battery, your device will pretty much switch it off about 10 minutes after using it, because of how it measures the drain. So just always make sure you're on the correct battery type for the actual batteries that you're using. Okay. Looking at the map setup itself, so we set track up, right? You get north up or track up. We set track up because we want the track that we're following to always be facing forward. It just sort of makes more mental sense when you're riding. And then you'll see down here, map information. Now, a lot of these devices, depending on which model you bought, will ship with built-in maps on the device itself. But, and where those maps are useful is when you got to sort of navigate in non-race conditions. You can see rivers and you can see other stuff. When you're racing, it really doesn't matter. All it does is it clogs up the screen because you're flying along, you're trying to make your next checkpoint. You don't need that detail on the screen. You want a blank screen with a race line on it, and that's what you want to focus on, right? So what we do is we go in and we disable all of the maps that's on the device itself. Now, if you get lost and you got to find yourself off a mountain somewhere, fine. Just go back in and enable them again, and you can kind of see where you are. But for racing conditions, we leave them switched off. This one here, this is a bit of a personal preference. So you will see there's a track log. This is basically a breadcrumb trail that follows you where you've been. And so some people like to record but not show it on the map. I personally prefer to record and show it on the map, so that when I'm racing along, and I will always make my race line a dark color, like a black, so that I have the highest contrast possible. But my my track log I make blue, and I leave it switched on, and that is so that I can see where I've been in case I need to spin around and go back, and I want to avoid something along the trail, or at least I can see where I made the left turn previously and where I went wrong. So that is just something that's just kind of useful. The other thing I personally do is I go into advanced setup and I make it like a light blue color. So you can pick the color range here. It just means it's a different color from my actual race line that I'm following. That is pretty much it. There's lots of other settings on here, but we don't use much of it. What I can